So in the one of the last videos, audio videos, I should say that I did, I talked about how one of the things Ian Flynn is not a fan of, and why he basically stopped really shipping certain pairings in the post reboot era was the fans, and how the fans could not basically tell the difference between what they ship, romantic ship in the comics, and what's a romantic ship or implied romantic ship in the games and so on. And I mentioned a lot of different ships from different franchises that fans are supportive of and not so supportive of. And one of them I brought up that fans actually like to ship, even though we've never really seen any indication of it, being present in the comics, is Tails and Nicole. Nicole the Holo-Lynx and Miles Tails Prower. Now, when I first started talking about this way back 11 years ago in 2012, it was thanks to Bleeding Dash Fingertips, if you will, on DeviantArt. And then, of course, I talked about it in the past couple of years as well. But you can't blame me for talking about it because, like anybody that hears about this pairing, it's really intriguing to hear because of the fact that when you look at these two, one, you can understand that, oh, Tails is a super genius and his, IQ is on par almost to Nicole's. And on the other hand, you look at Nicole, who has the power to, change her body at will, manipulate it, to the point that she can even de-age herself to be about the same size as Tails, just justifying them being together. And the fact that her IQ, even though a bit superior, can work perfectly in sync with Tails, it's no wonder why fans would like to see them together. The other thing, too, is that there's one issue that kind of gets pretty much derailed in this situation. It's an issue that kind of, causes deformation, is kind of, it's kind of looked at as a desecration for any ship, period, and that's age. But in this case, Nicole is ageless. Again, like I said, she can manipulate her body to be about the age of Tails and be about the same size as Tails, thus justifying them being together. But the other thing, too, is everybody looks at Tails as Sonic's BFF and little bro. Well, some would say Sally looks at, Nicole being the same way. Her being so it only makes sense that if you're going to pair Sonic and Sally together, that their little sibs, quote unquote, get paired together as well. And those are all, I guess you could say very opinionated, justifiable, theories, to say the least, when it comes to pairing these two together. But it's always so interesting to note that when you look on DeviantArt, you look on Ink Bunny, you look on Furafiniant, I think, you look at Duriburu, if you go to that, you go to archiveofourown.org, and even some of these Sonic fan sites that have the artwork section, the fan artwork section, and believe it or not, and even fan fiction sections as well, and believe it or not, you're going to find a lot of Tails and Nicole pictures. You'll find a lot of them. Even when you go to Google, you'll find a lot of them there. Heck, you go here on YouTube, all you have to put is in Tails and Nicole, and you're going to get some surprisingly, very, sweet looking, I guess you could say, fan vids, comic fan vids, whatever you want to call them, dedicated to them, as an item. You are. I mean, there are animations out there that are dedicated to it as well. In fact, one animation I found, I put onto my channel, and it's of Tails summoning Nicole out of her portable computer, out of a portable handheld, and she comes out looking like an angel with almost like angel wings in the back of her, looking down sweetly at him. It's surprisingly a very popular pairing. It really is. And it does make you wonder why, people like Ian Flynn never really explored it. I mean, I can understand that maybe Ian looked at that and be like, yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I see it, I understand it, but I'm not sure if it would work. But yet, here you have, Ian Flynn and, and his wife, Aaliyah Baker, and others, teasing, especially with the Spark of Life four-parter in Sonic Universe. You have them teasing, and implementing that there's something between Sally and Nicole that's more than just a friendship, if you understand what I'm saying. So, yeah, it makes you wonder, like, okay, he's cool with teasing Sally and Nicole, a la LGBTQ, but, was he not so cool with potentially teasing a Tails and Nicole, pairing? I don't get it. I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, I'm sure he's addressed it. I'm sure he's, addressed it on his Bumblecast, on his Q&A a couple of times. But, really, when you think about it, I think it would have been interesting to see something play out. I really do. I think it would have been interesting from a story aspect. You don't have to get too romantic-y, too lovey-dovey or anything like that. But I think it would have been interesting to see it play out. It would have been interesting to see it play out, in front of us in an official capacity. Maybe have something that occurs between them, where they interact, and maybe you go from there. Maybe you just spend a few issues once in a while, teasing something, between them that's more than just like a companionship or a friendship or whatever, and just, go from there. Just leave it at that. And maybe if you want to have her give him like a little peck on the cheek or something like that, as probably the furthest you're going to go, that's fine too. At least you're acknowledging to the fans, hey, I hear you when it comes to this ship. I hear you wanting to see something become official of it, out of an official, media item of Sonic. So, yeah, so like, here you go, But we never got that. But I think it would have been interesting. I think it would have been interesting to see and read about, because one, it would definitely keep you on your toes to want to see what happens in the next issue storyline wise. But once in a while to see in one of those panels, maybe them interacting, you get like some kind of interaction where they're blushing towards each other or they're touching hands and then they just pull back like, whoops, it would have been nice to see. It would have been cute, I think. And then, like I said, you could have her do that little peck on the cheek if you get a moment where it's warranted. I think it would have been nice. Because one, at least, like I said, you're acknowledging the ship that the fans themselves started, and wanted to see in some kind of official capacity. Hopefully, you're at least acknowledging that, hey, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I understand part of it. So here you go. At least you're telling them, hey, I hear you. I see your support for it. So here you go. But we'll never know. I mean, again, I'm sure he's heard about it. The only question is, has he ever talked about it? Has he ever acknowledged it? That, has he gone on his forums during Q&As? Has he gone on his forums, and interacted with the fans before shutting down the message boards at the bumbleking.com or whatever it was? Has he ever acknowledged it, basically? Has he gone to a convention and somebody asked him a question during a Q&A panel and, has he answered it there? I don't know. So maybe somebody in the comments in the live chat can let me know about that. But yeah, I think honestly it would have been nice to see something, some kind of flirtatious, cute interaction between them throughout, the duration of the reboot and all that. I mean, heck, think about this. Think about them celebrating the victory, and saving the world, and all of a sudden one of the panels you have Tails getting kissed on the cheek, real hard by Nicole, surprisingly, and it surprises them both, and it even surprises her to where he even kisses her back on the cheek as well, and there you go. You don't have to lead into anything outside of that. Maybe you just have them holding hands, and that's it. You don't go any further than that. I mean, again, a lot of opportunities, but we never got them. We never got them, nor do I think Ian Flynn would ever, consider it. I don't even think, I honestly, I don't even think Ian Flynn was not even considering it. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure he heard of it, but I don't even think if someone brought it up to him over there when they were working on the comic, I don't even think he was going to even give it a second thought. I mean, maybe he did, but then he realized, yeah, there's going to be some people that'll be more critical about that than Sonic and Sally. Maybe that. But that's the one thing about Tails and Nicole, shipping by the fans. I think they do it. I think they did it, I should say, because of the fact that maybe they felt that if Ian Flynn would have got wind of it, which I'm sure he did, that he might have tested the waters with it. Like I said, do the things I mentioned. Do these little cute moments here and there, and maybe, kind of, probably put an exclamation point on it by having a kiss him on the cheek as either, out of gratitude for something, or maybe in celebration of winning the day, saving the world. Who knows? But, the only person that knows the answer to that is Ian, whether or not he was even tinkering with the idea upon the fans' interest in it. Only he knows the idea. Only he knows it. Hold on for a sec. Guys. Sorry about that, but like I said, it's an interesting scenario. It's an interesting pairing, and I think that's why fans did it, because maybe they figured Ian would get, it would get his attention. But I don't even think maybe he was tinkering with the idea, but then decided, like I mentioned, it might have been too much of a hectic headache outside of, let's say, Sally and the Sally. We'll never know. But I think if he would have done it, in the post reboot, I think some of the things that I mentioned would have been nice to see, and I think he agrees with it. Because again, you can't tell me that somebody that works on the main comic, that knows about DeviantArt and knows about all these other places, that he's been part of, that he hasn't, heard about or acknowledged, the Tails and Nicole ship by the fans. Because I'm sure he has. Strongly. But you never know. Maybe he was considering the idea of not for the comics, the nod to the fans, and the reboot, what, or even in the post, even the pre-reboot. We'll never know. It'll be interesting to find out. Maybe some of you guys know whether or not he mentioned something. Let me know in the comments, and hopefully let me know in the live chat or mirror thing. But yeah, it's hard to believe that this is a pairing that, when you think about all the pairings that Tails have, officially, Tails and Cosmo, Tails and Zoe, and such, and some even want to say that maybe Tails and Amy, semi-officially, not officially, who knows? Out of all the pairings he's had, even fictionally, adult-wise as well, adult NFSW-wise, like Tails Sally, Tails Bunny, Tails Rosemary, his own mom, believe it or not, Tails Queen Alicia, and so on. Out of all the pairings, the most popular out of them all is him and Nicole. And why? Because again, I think it has to do with the fact that they're both geniuses. Of course, her being an AI, a little more of a genius. And also the fact that not only can they work perfectly off each other and in sync with each other, but also the fact that, well, basically, the age situation, the age deformation is not an issue because she's ageless and she can, make herself any age she wants, any size she wants to kind of, kind of debunk that issue, if you know what I mean. I mean, heck, there are some fan arts out there to where she will, literally, shapeshift herself. Fan arts out there she'll literally shapeshift herself, into a belly dancer and do a belly dance for Tails. It's true. It's true. There's even a picture of Tails carrying her off during Halloween. They're both in costume. It's like, what is going on here, right? It's like, what's the what is the fascination with these two being together? And what I said, I think, is the only possible reason. explanation, in my opinion. But what are you guys? What are your thoughts? About the whole Tails and Nicole pairing. What were your thoughts when you first heard about it? When fans started, doing it, kind of coming up with art and stories to put them together. Let me know down below in the comments as well as the live chat during the premiere. Like the video, and until next time, guys, I am out.